This is my scientology story. I will not rehash old news. I was a young male in Duluth, Minnesota with a tyrant for a mother. I accepted every word that she uttered from her mouth. It was the ultimate scientology bullbait. She is not a scientologist. She is a Christian. I saw the 80s Danke infomercials, and tried to order them by phone, but didn't have a credit card. I left Minneapolis at 18 and tried drugs for a year. It was good and bad. I thought something was terribly wrong with me. I sought therapy, and decided to read Danke's, The Modern Science of Mental Health. Also, at age 16, I had a relationship with a much older man, who dumped me, and that made it more difficult for me to deal with relationships. I really liked Danke's and it seemed supremely logical to me. I wanted to remember everything I couldn't, and I did just that. I joined up at the Minneapolis org, and the first day I was shown how to raise the credit limit on my card so I could pay $1,300 for the purification rundowns without program for the drugs I took. I wanted auditing so badly I was willing to go through this hurdle. Then I was recruited for staff. I was a closeted homosexual, and befriended another even more closeted homosexual, my age. I told him about my past homosexual experience, and he hit on me and I went along with this. More on this later. I was lost in direction, like Danke's, and decided using this to help others was something I could do. Then the downhill struggle began. After 1.5 years, my relationship with the other guy who also started working there was exposed. He was going to run away. I told on him to fix the situation, and he told the big secret. Of course we had to stop, and I was fired 1 month later. As is typical in Scientology, he left me for the greater cause of freeing yourself and mankind spiritually. I was publicly humiliated as word went around that I was a fag, and this of course was bad. I basically spent the next 8 years struggling trying to get back into Scientology, as due to my upbringing, I wanted out of this earthly mess, and Scientology promises spiritual emancipation now, not later on. I believed in being a non-physical spiritual being, and in continual lifetimes, and I did not want to go through this again. I was willing to forego current earthly things, money, love, relationships for this. It was not until May 2007 that I mentally disentangled myself from Scientology. During my stay in Scientology, I loved it for the most part. The subject. Nobody loves the management. Maybe 0.1% does. Public and staff mumble and grumble. It sucks. I had to repress my entire sexuality. Eventually, after 5 years, I had to fail. I left and moved suddenly to California. Since most of my life has been about Scientology and before that about my tyrant mother, I have no history to speak of, no nurturing. However, the bright spots are coming out. With Anonymous bringing the arm of justice to the organization, I feel renewed. I understand that I was a weak sheep, due to my upbringing, but I am not the stupidest. There is much more to the story, such as International Justice Chief Mike Ellis writing me, explaining my suppressive person declare that I was harming myself by being a homosexual. But I am not interested in hashing out every bad experience. The point is I was a Scientologist. The organization has failed. I have survived. And thanks to Anonymous, I feel better about my history. My word. Be honest. The zealot Scientologist clings onto hope. They pass by reality as too MDARY to the spirit in which the hope they will be saved by being part of the group. Added to that, the fanciful belief that they are the best effect on mankind. Scientology is not all bad, but it need not be uncomfortable. I look forward to the day when all Scientologists can feel comfortable in their own skin again, as I have. Thanks, Anonymous.